All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. Obviously, we're mixing things up a little bit today. It is Wednesday. We're going to forego my usual Wednesday feature after the late day news yesterday of the passing of Eddie Van Halen. How about that? 65 years old. A musical icon for anyone who is around my age. What a loss for the music industry, and what a loss just for all of us who have all these great memories of Van Halen, right? I think even if you weren't a huge fan of Van Halen, you still managed to find a couple songs that you liked. So pretty much everyone knows at least one Van Halen song, right? I myself, a big, huge fan of Van Halen. Haven't really quite figured out what we're gonna do. I think we'll probably do some more on Friday for Octane Friday. This is thrown together kind of hastily here, so we'll try to be concise here with what we have to say, because there's a lot we can talk about when it comes to Van Halen. So I first heard Van Halen, like so many of you, with that first record, right? So that came out in '78. These guys are from Pasadena, at least their band is. Obviously, they were born in the Netherlands. And that record cover, which I posted yesterday, I'll try to throw it in here. That cover of that first album, 78, so I probably heard that right around 79 or so, maybe 80, so you're around 12 years old, right around there. That album cover, it just, when you played that music, it just was just so different than anything you'd ever been listening to. It was so heavy, so hard rocking. You just felt like a total and complete badass if you liked that record, right? Like, you think about who the people were that were listening to that record. I remember 8th grade, just looking at some of the high school guys that were listening to Van Halen, and you just thought, oh, they're so cool. And then it was like, you just felt like, I don't know, it was totally different than anything else you were listening to, any kind of pop music or whatever else it was. I know at that time I wasn't listening to anything heavy, but this was something completely different, and it just opened the door for so much of that music. So I have a lot of fond memories of that first record. I do remember swimming. We used to be able to go swimming at the Dartmouth swimming pool where the students would go, and they had a public swim. And they had a cassette tape that was on heavy rotation, and two of the songs that you would hear all the time in that pool were Heart, Magic Man, and Running with the Devil from Van Halen, which I was always excited whenever I would hear that. So their career, we're going to go over their career. We'll do some more of that on Friday, but Eddie was ranked consistently either number one or number two of the greatest guitar players of all time. They were the 20th most selling band in the United States in history, 55 million copies in the United States of their records. They won a Grammy for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. And so the list goes on and on and on and on. It does go to show you that it's not always the singer that's the person that gets the spotlight, because obviously David Lee Roth was the first singer to get a lot of attention, and then Sammy Hagar, who was an awesome frontman, by the way. I think he was excellent. But then there was always Eddie, right, doing his thing. He basically popularized this kind of guitar playing called tapping, which would be using both your hands on the neck of the guitar. He did not invent playing that way. It had been around for centuries, but he was one of the ones that popularized it the most. He actually had 3 patents around guitars, and one of them was a stand that you could lay the guitar flat and play it like a piano. And that patent expired like in the mid-2000s or something like that. He also had a patent for some kind of piece that goes at the bottom of the guitar, and also some decorative piece for the neck. But anyway, so he just was, it was so unique, right? Like, you just knew when it was Eddie Van Halen playing guitar. There are very few people that when you hear guitar, you say, oh, that must be so-and-so playing, like Clapton. You can just tell, like David Gilmour, you can tell when people are playing guitar, but there's only a handful of them that you can tell that, right? And he is absolutely one of them. Going through the stories, one of the favorite ones also is the one, of course, about him playing the guitar solo in Beat It. Clearly that was him, but he tells a funny story about how he did that as a favor to Quincy Jones, who called him up, and he got on the phone and he didn't think it was Quincy Jones, or wasn't sure who it was. Anyway, it's a funny story about that, and he agrees to do it. And he's not credited. It says something like guitar Frankenstein or question mark. But he went and he did it with Michael Jackson and did his part, and then Michael went across the way to do some more recording somewhere else, and he said, well, how about we do some rearranging and we do this or that? And then he was nervous when Michael Jackson came back because he kind of messed with his song, but Michael loved it and loved his passion about it. And so and then he told the story about being in a record store somewhere, and some kids heard that song come over the speaker, and they're like, listen to that guy, he's trying to sound like Eddie Van Halen. And Eddie Van Halen turned to them and said, it's me. So that's pretty funny. Anyway, so what are we doing today? We're at 6 minutes. We're going to spend some more time on Van Halen. Obviously, it's too big of a topic, but I'm going to do my best at doing my list of the top 20 Eddie Van Halen songs as far as ones that feature guitar. I mean, this is really hard, right? Because you're not talking about your favorite Van Halen song per se when it comes to lyrics or performance that way. You're trying to highlight his guitar playing, so I did my best. So, number 20, Panama. Right? Great song. Everyone loves that song. Number 19, Hear About It Later. Great song from that album that I love so much. Fair Warning. So that's number 19. Number 18, Hot for Teacher. Remember that? I mean, everyone loved that video, but I remember the girls just really liked that video. They liked them because they were dressed up in tuxedos and doing that funny dance with the white gloves, and they really liked Eddie Van Halen on that one with his smile. Number 17, Mine All Mine. Love that one. That's a good one off of OU 812. 16, Drop Dead Legs from 1984. Awesome song. 15, Mean Street. We're going back to Fair Warning. Love that. Like I said, my favorite album from them. 14, AFU. Another great song from OU 812. If you don't know that one, check it out. 13, Push Comes to Shove. Back to Fair Warning. Man, what a record. 12, Cathedral coming in with in the top, where are we at? Top 12, Cathedral from Diver Down. Yep. 11, Beat It. Got to do that. That's just iconic as far as guitar solos. Number 10, Pound Cake from For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. This lead-off track when he does that thing that sounds like he's playing a drill. It's just that's pretty amazing. That's a hard rocking record right there. That's really good stuff. I love that record. Number 9, Ice Cream Man. You think of Ice Cream Man as kind of just a little ditty, a little slow song kind of thing, but there is some nice guitar work in there. Number 8, Spanish Fly / DOA if you want, but Spanish Fly, of course. Yep, he's showing off his stuff. Number 7, Unchained. Again, we're back to Fair Warning. Number 6, Ain't Talking About Love. We haven't hit anything on the debut album because those are moving up and up and up, right? Number 5, Mean Street, back to Fair Warning. Number 4, You're No Good, the first one from Van Halen 2. Number 3, I'm the One from the debut album. Number 2, we're at Running with the Devil's number 2. Now, I don't even think that's in a lot of people's top Van Halen songs as far as Eddie's concerned, and I can see why. But if you think about it, that song was your introduction to Eddie's Van Halen's guitar playing, and when he does his very brief guitar work in there, it's just a hint of what is to come, and that's what made you feel like, you were somewhere cool, And number 1, naturally, it's got to be Eruption, You Really Got Me. I mean, Eruption, probably the first guitar solo that I ever loved. I mean, how many people purposely listen to a guitar solo? I mean, nobody really does that, right? Unless you're playing guitar. But that was voted, I think, the number 2. At one point, it was voted the number 2 guitar solo of all time. I think that was 2012. Guitar World magazine voted it number 2. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty insane. He would do like 12, 13-minute versions of Eruption in concert, and that's just crazy, insane guitar playing. So that's really awesome. I'm going to mix things up a little bit. I'm going to play Running with the Devil as my song of the day. We'll throw some Eruption on there too, but only because that was my introduction to this band, and it was just so, like I said, it's hard to explain, but Van Halen has just always been around, right? Running with the Devil's the one that was the most nostalgic for me, but you think about it, they were always putting out records, like they were just always there for you, right? Rock block weekends, classic rock radio. Yes, we got into fights about Sammy Hagar, and I was one of those people who did not want to make that change. I did not really listen to that first album with Sammy Hagar, but I did come around and really, really love them. I just thought that he was a great fit for them. So, what a great story as far as the band is concerned. We're at 10 minutes, so almost 11. So, again, we're going to talk some more about Van Halen. Rip Eddie Van Halen. Sad day for rock and roll. Tell me your Eddie Van Halen stories. Tell me your stories about Van Halen. But we're doing Running with the Devil. We're going to put some Eruption on there. We'll put that long 13-minute solo on there so you can check it out. Have a good day, and as usual, we'll catch you on the flip side.